Hi, my name is Keely Stanley, and this is my story.
Two people who decide to live together and spend their lives together.
By companionship, love, affection.
Giving your life to serve your partner.
We ought to let the cell phone companies write marriage contracts, because then you'd never get out.
A man and a woman being able to serve God better together than they could separately.
God created marriage.
Marriage is a relationship when two people complement each other.
A unity between you and someone you love for life.
Love, respect, and trust between two lovers.
It's not just loving your spouse, but also loving your kids and being the best influence to them as possible.
Marriage is when you both pay the bills.
A man and a woman are responsible to holding each other accountable.
Marriage is when you both pay the bills.
Marriage is like a butterfly. You hold it too tight, you'll crush it. Not tight enough, and it'll fly away.
Two people who decide to live together and spend their lives
being able to serve God.
The definition of marriage. Seems like some people kind of got that twisted a little bit. Here we go. Marriage. It's a legal union of a man and woman as husband and wife.
I was married for 10 years.
And why did you and your wife get a divorce?
Well, there are a number of reasons, but I think that we are both high-performing, high-achieving individuals. And looking back, I think that in a marriage, one person is kind of like the lion or the leader, and another person is kind of like what I call the kitty cat.
The black man in Nigeria has like a wide array of options. He can go for the non-educated black woman, the educated. He has like choice. Whereas because my mom's like, I spent all this money on you, all that stuff. Why are you gonna go with some guy who can't provide for you? You know what I mean? So it's not a race thing. I just think that it just is. For some reason, black women tend to. Maybe we're pushed more. Maybe
it's a class thing too.
You think?
For sure. For sure.
I first started to do this documentary regarding to the rebuttal of 70% of African American women are said never to get married. And then when I did my research, I realized that it's more than just African American women. It's every woman. And it made me wonder, why is it so hard for a man to stay committed?
I wasn't ready. I know I wasn't financially ready. I know my mind wasn't all the way ready for that yet, because I still had things that I wanted to do. There's still things that I know that we had to develop together.
I was happy when I was single. You know, it was fun. When I was married, I felt kind of like caged in. And, now that I'm single again, I like it a lot. And I'm at peace, and I'm happy, and I'm silly, and whereas I always felt kind of like pressed down when I was married. So I doubt it. There are a lot of beautiful women in the world, and so I just think that I'm going to kind of be a playboy.
Excuse me, what?
I just think that I'm going to kind of be a playboy.
Yeah, no. Okay, so when I looked back at the history of my family as far as marriage and commitment goes, it really struck me hard because I saw a continuing beat of the same thing happening from generation to generation. When I go back to my grandparents, my grandfather, they had some issues, and it led to my grandfather having an affair on my grandmother. Then we went to my parents, where my dad had an affair on my mother. And then we came to me, which is third generation. I was with a guy for 5 years, and we talked about getting married, but we never did. He stepped out of our relationship on me after being with him for 5 years. So it just made me really wonder, and I'm thinking why is it so hard for a man to stay committed?
It's like, why get married if I can kind of have my cake, and eat it too.
It all goes back to the 80-20 rule. It's like the woman that you have is always going to be 80% of what you want, but 20% of that is always going to be missing. And if you go looking for that 20%, you're going to lose your 80. Sometimes it's just not worth it.
The reason why they don't make that commitment
is because they're probably already committed to someone else. Maybe they're already married, or maybe they have a number of different women in their lives, and that they're living secret lives.
The commitment phase of marriage to a man kind of makes it seem as if, he surrendered to a life of babies and cutting grass and, coming home and things of that sort. And that's just really not that attractive to a lot of guys.
And it's also because the two people don't have things to bring that you're building together to produce. If you didn't, and that has to be at the beginning. I have gifts inside of me. You have gifts. Our gifts are compatible. So if we're getting together for the wrong reasons, it's not gonna work.
I believe in every relationship you need the 3 C's. That's communication, compromise, and compassion. Communication, compromise, and compassion.
And you can't forget about the 4th C, which is Christ. If you don't have Christ in your life or even in your relationship, it could be a very rocky road.
It's about like mutual respect, about respecting each other's boundaries and all that. It's about economics as well.
It was all good. It was perfect and everything like that. It's just, not to say I didn't want to. It's just that, at that time, I wanted to pursue my, my career, my educational goals. There was a lot of things that I thought about, and not to say I didn't want to commit. I just wanted to be able to take care of things. If I committed, I wanted to be on a level where I can do it. And not be on the level where we're struggling and everything like that. And I know with a lot of marriages, there's always, financial situations and stuff like that that can be a real, pain in the neck.
So it's kind of like this conflict between the expectations of what guys really want, how they feel deep down inside, how a woman feels deep down inside, and how they have to negotiate and give up various things to be together. And so I have the sneaky suspicion that guys don't think that this thing is going to satisfy all of their needs for all of eternity.
What I have learned about this is that if you're not deeply rooted in Christ, you're going to have a hard time staying committed to anything, because this world has so much to offer and so many different ways you can go that you can easily get off track. And from when I look back on it, now that my grandfather, he is a man of Christ, and he was able to, he made a mistake, but he was able to move on and stay with my grandmother until she passed away. And my dad, he's a man of Christ, and him and my mom are friends, and they're able to forgive one another. And as for me and my ex-boyfriend, we're friends as well, and forgiveness is what you need to keep you moving on. So that's probably the most important thing that I've learned. And when I look at other people's relationships, the ones who do have Christ in the middle of their marriage or their relationship, they tend to have a success.